This podcast is foreign language.
You know what the problem is with the Navy? Too much water. Welcome to the Hey Guys podcast. I'm Rob, that's Liam, and this week we watched Navy SEALs from 1990, a film where everyone looks incredible in sunglasses, but absolutely nobody seems to know what they're doing. This is one of those early 90s action films where the military feels less like a disciplined elite unit and more like a group of lads who've been handed millions of dollars worth of equipment and told, go on then, see what happens. The tactics are baffling, the decision-making is questionable, and the tone swings wildly between macho posturing and accidental comedy. Michael Biehn is trying his best to hold the film together, Bill Paxton is floating around being Bill Paxton, and Charlie Sheen is, well, he's Charlie Sheen. He's not acting. He's just radiating pure tiger blood energy years before he made it a catchphrase, sprinting through scenes like he's late for his own chaos. But weirdly, the halo jump, the one thing you'd expect to be completely ridiculous, is actually pretty accurate. I say in brackets. It's the most convincing part of the entire film, which tells you everything you need to know about the rest of it. It's loud, it's messy, it's macho, and somehow, against all logic, it's incredibly watchable. Now, Liam, this is your first going again. We seem to have a lot of these lately. For a fan of 80s and 90s cinema, we're doing a lot of this is your first go.
Well, I think it speaks to how many podcasts we've done more than anything else. But no, we mentioned at the end of last week's episode that this is a strange one. Like some films you pick, and I'm like, well, yeah, obviously I haven't seen that one, or whatever. Yeah. But with this film, it's almost strange that I didn't see this because I remember it being very prevalent in the video shop. I remember the poster very clearly. It was kind of a big deal around the time, and for some reason or another, I just never got around to it. So when you picked it, I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, I'm looking forward to seeing this. Everything you said there is absolutely spot on. Like, let's make no point. Like, this isn't a great movie. It is not a great movie. No. But it is watchable. And to come back to the Halo sequence, I don't know where that came from. I know, another movie, for sure. I was like, you watch the film, it's got like competent action sequences, you're kind of going through the motions. And then all of a sudden, you get this Halo sequence, which genuinely is up there with like Mission Impossible Fallout, the greatest Halo jump in movie history. I think it's shot so wonderfully, and you're like, wait a minute, where the hell did this come from?
It feels like a documentary, like it could be real, like there was somebody actually filming a proper Halo jump. I tell you where it came from. Well, I say the realism and the camera work kind of came from where they stole some of the score from. Top Gun. Like, tell me that wasn't the Top Gun theme when they were coming up onto the deck.
Well, it was weird. This film does crib from a lot of other movies. So you get that moment there where it sounds like Top Gun. The ending inexplicably just starts sounding like, I think it was Predator or something like that. It's like the score kind of shifts and changes as it goes along. Like, and that speaks also to the tone of this, which you alluded to just a moment ago. But you mentioned Top Gun there. That is the film that this movie closely
it wanted resembles. To be,
It wants to be. Yeah. And it's kind of that mix of strange authenticity, machoism, and like goofy comedy. And it makes you realize how carefully Top Gun threads the needles. And you're just like, oh, well, imagine, right, if it's Top Gun, only it's Navy SEALs. You're like, well, that sounds good. But then the next sentence is, oh, yeah, and it's not Tony Scott, it's Lewis Teague. You're like, I'm not sure. Oh, and it's not Tom Cruise, it's Michael Biehn. I'm like, okay, this doesn't sound as good. And basically, someone said that sentence, and the movie came out exactly how you think it would. Yeah. Like you say, Michael Biehn is trying his best to keep this movie on the rails. What you find out pretty quickly is, as great as Michael Biehn is, he's not a leading man in the same way Tom Cruise is. He doesn't have the charisma. He's don't get me wrong, he is handing some fucking grenades in this movie. Some of the dialogue is dog shit.
Oh, it is.
He can't pull it off.
You hit the nail on the head, right? Because I wrote down Michael Biehn is the glue of this film. He's like the gravitas. He's the only one who seems to know he's in a movie with stakes. He's kind of playing it like The Abyss or Aliens, but then it's all being thrown off the rails because Sheen is playing it like Ferris Bueller joins the military. There's such a difference in contrasted styles.
Wondering, and I couldn't find anything to back this up, but I was like, did they rewrite his character slightly based on the fact that he was clearly and famously
off his tits
on cocaine? So this was when he was at his peak of like cocaine and substance abuse.
Yeah.
And there are scenes in this movie where you're just like, he's clearly on cocaine there. And that isn't just joking around. You can see in his eyes, he's fucking wired. And in this movie, you notice early doors, they're just like, "Are you geared up? Are you wired up?" You know, they're trying to make it as if he's like an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah.
Like he's got to go after that. So that's explaining why he's always wide-eyed and getting after it. I think they were literally like, you know, kind of like Marlon Brando in Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
They were just like, he shows up on set and he's like 400 pounds. And like, dude, you're supposed to have been living in the fucking jungle for 6 months. What the hell's going on? But you deal with it because it's Brando. This is different because Charlie Sheen is no Brando. But he was still a massive star in 1990. And they're like, listen, we're not going to stop him from doing cocaine. No one can stop him from doing cocaine. So we'll just kind of write it into the script, only sans cocaine in a strange way.
I don't think they kind of wrote it. I think they filmed the scenes around him.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised.
They went to film on day one. They went, okay, everyone's in this house now. We've got a pretend stag going on for Dennis Haysbert. Where's Charlie Sheen? I don't know. Where's Charlie Sheen? Somebody else. He's passed out on the beach. Quick, grab the camera. We'll pretend that's the start of it. Okay, it's fine. And they're driving across the bridge, and Charlie Sheen gets bored of his line, so he jumps off the bridge. Charlie's jumped off the bridge. Just go with it.
Yeah, because that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like when he jumps off the bridge, like don't be wrong, it's kind of cool, and it's amazing that it's done practically. Until you see when the guy kind of belly flops into the water, you're like, oh, he didn't quite land the plane, but we're not doing a second take. So he's like, I've had enough of this. He jumps out of the truck, off the bridge into the water. And then 2 minutes later, he just shows up at the wedding.
So
anyway,
basically, he's trying to get past the nuptial part. He wants the party after the wedding, but he doesn't want to be in church. So he gets there and he goes, "Is it over?" And they're like, "Oh, Saved by the Bell and all that shit." Or his beeper is waterproof. And he got the beep as well.
Oh, well, of course, the beeper sequence. I mean, again, speaking to the fact that the tone of this film is mental. So sometimes, like I said, it's going for this authentic Navy SEALs, militaristic action. And then you have the scene when, God, what's his name? Graham, I think he's called in the movie, is about to get married. And all their pages go off like it's an episode of Mask or fucking G.I. Joe. And they're like, oh, we have to go, fuck getting married. I love the fact that they spend the rest of the film then kind of like establishing stakes around Haysbert. Haysbert plays Graham, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And his wife, Jolena. This whole idea is like, oh, well, you know, she has to deal with the fact that he dies a lame death, by the way. And she's all upset. And, you know, they're trying to establish stakes. It's like, dude, even Haysbert didn't want to get married to Jolena. It's like their whole relationship is bullshit. Like the movie opens with him just going, man, I don't think I want to get married to this bitch. When the pages go off, he could not be happier.
He was first out the door.
First out the door. And then the rest of the film, they're just like, oh, we need to establish stakes. So we'll kind of make it around their relationship, even though like their relationship is bullshit and even Haysbert doesn't want to be married to her. It's absolutely, this film is nonsense from start to finish, but it's got that intangible something. It's going to be hard for us to kind of pin this down because we're going to spend the next hour or so, I suspect, tearing this movie to fucking shreds. Because my God, it's easy to do. But when I finished, I was just like, that was kind of fun.
Oh, yeah, it's fun. I still reckon, for one more thing about Charlie Sheen as well, I reckon that the film was rewritten as well because he wasn't meant to be holding Ben Shahid at gunpoint at the beginning of the film. I reckon he went off script, went through that door where Ben Shahid was just staying out of the way, and then just held him at gunpoint. I'm going to blow this. What did he say? Blow this raghead's head off?
Oh, yeah. His casual racism is running all the way through the film. But yeah, that's one of the stranger relationships in this film is between Charlie Sheen and, is it Rahid or Rashid? Sorry, is that his name? The bad guy?
Ben Shahid. No, the bad guy. Ben Shahid. Yeah.
We're going to say quote unquote bad guy because they kind of try and build up this beef between Charlie Sheen and Ben Shahid. And it just simply does not exist. No. Ben Shahid isn't in most of the movies. And at the start, Ben Shahid like pretends to be so like Charlie Sheen's just super upset that he didn't shoot him in the head when he had the chance. Like that's what their beef is completely based upon. And like right down to the final sequences, the big showdown between Charlie Sheen and Ben Shahid. And you get this surprisingly violent throat cut underwater. And just like, they don't really have any beef. It's completely manufactured.
That felt like a cathartic ending to something that didn't need a cathartic ending.
Yeah, like 100%. 100%.
Everyone's going, oh, thank God. Oh, he's finally killed Ben Shahid. You know, he saved the world. What?
Yeah, you would think like Ben Shahid had like murdered his family. Like you think like, you know, like a Punisher movie or something like that. He catches up the bad guy who killed his wife and his kid and he finally gets his comeuppance. It's just like Ben Shahid's just, as far as he's concerned, just another terrorist.
I love how we're full naming this guy as well. Like
I know, and we're going Ben Shahid and Charlie Sheen. We're not even calling Charlie Sheen Hawkins.
And this
is going to happen again, just for anyone listening. This is going to happen all the way through this podcast. I will be jumping between fictional and real names throughout.
Speaking of real names, did you notice after Graham's death, and they had the wake at the bar?
At the pizza place, you mean?
At the pizza place, sorry. Did you notice who Charlie Sheen was choking out? And it looked like, as well, again, Charlie Sheen just, coke mad, just decided to choke him out for real.
Yeah, there's another one of those feelings that at the Ready Room pizza place where they
did you know who he was?
I was going to say, I know, I recognized him, but I couldn't place him.
Well, you recognize him because I don't think he's done any acting between 1990 and when he was basically just a grey-haired older man. That's Titus Welliver, Bosch.
Oh, because he's got such a distinctive face.
Yeah, but he hasn't grown into it. His head hasn't grown into his face.
There's enough there where you're just like, I know that guy, but I was just like, I can't think what he's in. And then as soon as you say Bosch, you're like, of course he's Bosch. Of course he is Bosch. But yeah, that sequence perfectly encapsulates the film. So they're supposed to be having a wake for their friend, Graham or Haysbert, as we'll call him. So he dies, again, a very anticlimactic death. Most of the deaths in this film are very anticlimactic for that matter. They're like, oh, we're going to have a wake for our war brethren. So they don't even have a private event. They just have it at not even at a cool bar, the Ready Room pizza place. They get upset because, again, at a public bar, they're playing videos of their dead friend playing golf. Yeah. And when some dude comes up and goes, who the fuck is this? Like, I want to watch the football. That is a completely reasonable request, dude. Completely reasonable. It's one of the craziest wakes ever. And the only thing crazier than the wake is the scene directly after it. Well, we will get to the golf. Okay. The golf is magnificent. But the scene with Curran and Claire right after, which again is one of the most batshit things in this film. Claire being the half Lebanese reporter.
Val Kilmer's ex-missus.
Yeah, Val Kilmer's ex-wife. Yeah. They're married for like 6 years. So anyway, there is it is the strangest love triangle in movie history. So I don't know who she fancies, if she fancies Curran or if she fancies Hawkins. There's that whole sequence, which is horribly scripted. The soundtrack's terrible. They just kind of wander around. I'm like, what are we trying to get out of this sequence? And then they just cut to her in bed the next day. And I'm just like, have they had sex? It's not made clear at all. And even Wikipedia doesn't know. Because I was like, wait, did they have sex? They're just like, oh, they had a night of intimacy. I was like, physical intimacy, or did they just fucking cuddle all night? Because that's the vibe I got, is that they just fucking cuddle.
She was not going for Charlie Sheen after he sat next to him and went, oh, joined the Navy SEAL to kill Arabs. What about you? Oh, I'm half Arab.
Ragheads.
Jeez,
yeah, but even then, she turned on a sixpence because she's just like, she finds his like casual racism abhorrent. And then 2 minutes later, she's in the car with him and she's just like, I might sleep with him. I might fucking sleep with this guy because he looks like Charlie Sheen. But she doesn't, though. So that whole love triangle, and she's going to be a part of the film because as soon as you see her on TV and they're like, oh, well, she knows more than we do because she's a half Lebanese reporter and she has, intel from the country. You're like, she's too hot. She's too hot. This is a late 80s, early 90s movie. She's going to be a love interest. But the love bit never really happens. No. It's really strange.
I wanted to ask as well, Navy SEALs, right? Predominantly their job is in the shadows. You don't really know what a Navy SEAL does. But this fucking team, and I know like SEAL Team 6 and all that, there's loads of different teams in the Navy, but this SEAL team are acting like everybody owes them something and everybody should know who they are. Because the way they treated the pizza place, as you just said, and the way they treated the golf course, nobody else is on that golf course, but they can fucking rip around, playing music with the golf cart, hitting shit, ripping up a golf fucking... I love it, right? Because they're absolutely destroying the golf course. And I'm not a golf fan, so I don't care, but they're destroying the golf course. The amount of property damage, the amount of damage by drowning a bloody golf cart. But for some reason, you park your convertible in the wrong place, that's where the rule ends. That's where they draw the line. That's where they tow your car away.
Again, another example of how mental this film is. So what I think of as the boys back in town montage, it's, they're all serious and they're Navy SEALs.
Why did you call it that montage? I have no idea why.
I have no idea. So again, we talked about the comparisons with Top Gun, and most of the comparisons are unfavorable. Top Gun has the famous...
We can't do volleyball, let's do golf.
That's what I mean, dude. It's like, like Speed to Speed 2, where you're just like, all right, we've got, it's called Speed. In the first film, we had a bus which couldn't slow down below 50 miles per hour. What are we going to do in the sequel? Are we going to do like a fucking, I don't know, a train, a plane? Now we're going to do a cruise liner. A cruise liner. I mean, it's in the fucking title. It's called Speed, not Cruise. And it's just like, all right, they're obviously looking at Top Gun. All right, obviously can't do volleyball. They did volleyball. What are we going to do? We're going to do golf. We're going to do golf. What, crazy golf? Nah, we're going to do a full 18 holes. And how's that going to work out? Lame. Well, what can make it lamer? Haysbert is going to bring his fucking wife.
Yes.
Fuck you, Haysbert. You deserve to die. There's always some, pardon my French, some cunt where you go out with the lads and some dweebs like, oh, do you mind if I bring my wife, Sarah? Oh, fuck off with your wife, Sarah.
And they're always like, come on, she's fun. She's practically one of the lads.
Dude. Absolutely unforgivable. And again, they even sneak in that sequence where everyone's having fun and he has a conversation with her in the bushes about how much he loves her all of a sudden. It's like,
how much he loves her. She's going, why aren't we getting married then? And he's like, stop fucking mentioning marriage, will you? Jesus Christ.
Clearly, I'm not into you. I'm all about the job. But yeah, bringing your wife to the fucking lads getaway is absolutely unforgivable. She has no business being there. But yeah, it's golf. It's not fucking volleyball. It's stupid.
Speaking of no business, I feel Bill Paxton has no business in this film.
Oh, dude, he's wasted. He's wasted.
That's what I mean. I don't mean like because he's shit. Just because he's wasted.
Yeah.
He has that cool scene at the beginning where I'm God, and he's got, I don't know, like, was it a 50 cal fucking sniper rifle that can go
totally overboard sniper rifle. It's like, remind me a little bit of Rambo 4 when the guns would just like absolutely disintegrate people and they're shooting holes in the wall. I'm just like, I love this. I want more of this. Well, you're not going to get it because that would be fun.
I can't see where the guy's at. I'm switching to thermal. What are you, the fucking Predator?
It's pretty bad. But again, I'm all for that. It's badass. I don't know enough about the Navy SEALs to know if it's true. I also don't give a shit. This is fun with Michael Biehn and Charlie Sheen.
He said one of the best things, though, when they were having the debrief, and you could clearly tell that the intelligence guys were trying to fucking cover their own backs.
Mm-hmm.
And they go, why'd you do this? Why didn't you blow up the rockets? We didn't know there were fucking rockets there. How about you tell us? Oh, we found out after the fact. Yeah, because we told you. But anyway. And they're talking to God, or whatever his name is that's not God. What's his name? Dane. They're talking to Dane, and he goes, oh, there was a couple of them. Because he went to say ragheads, and he went, a couple of insurgents. And I fucking vaporized them. I didn't kill them. I vaporized them. Like, all right, mate, Jesus.
He has his little moments. And don't get me wrong, I'm all for seeing Michael Biehn and Bill Paxton in movies together. Yeah. But this is the weakest of the bunch. You're like, oh, Michael Biehn and Bill Paxton, like they did Aliens and Tombstone. And Navy SEALs. It doesn't have the same impact. Yeah. And part of it is like you just think you've got this pretty solid late 80s, early 90s cast. And I keep saying late 80s, early 90s because I know this is a 1990 movie on paper, but this feels like the final death throes of 80s cinema to me. We've talked about it a bunch of times in this podcast about the fact that both literally and figuratively, the end of the 80s was Tango and Cash. Like it was one of the last movies released in America in 1989, and it feels like this final, kind of 80s movie with just a little hint of what was to come in the 90s. This came out obviously a few months later in 1990, but don't let the 1990 trick you. This is an 80s movie back to fucking front. When I went into this, I was like, I wonder if this will feel more 90s than 80s because, it's right on the cusp. No, it feels 80s. It's got an 80s soundtrack, 80s action, 80s vibes. Other than the fact that it's probably 10, 15 minutes longer than it needs to be, which I associate more with the 90s than the 80s. It is a very, very aggressively 80s movie as far as I can tell. Yeah. But like you said, the cast is cool, like Charlie Sheen, Biehn, Paxton, Rick Rossovich, who's what
was Slider.
Well, he's in Top Gun, Roseanne, Terminator, most famously. Haysbert, we mentioned a bunch of times.
You know where I remember him from?
Who's that?
Rick Rossovich. No. There was I'm trying to find the name because I don't remember the name. There was a TV show, right, back in the 90s now, where I think it was Rick Rossovich who did it. They were Pacific Blue, that was it. They were bike cops.
Oh, yeah, bike cops. Again, and maybe it was just my brain was reset at the start, because the first thing you see when this movie starts is Orion movies. And I know Orion went into the 90s and stuff, but for me, Orion, and I know it's not quite canon films after last week's American Ninja, but Orion to me always felt super 80s. There's something about that O coming up and then Orion going across the screen. And I think it's because I immediately think RoboCop, Terminator, even like Platoon and Bill and Ted and stuff. Yeah. It's just, to my mind at least, a quintessentially 80s film company, basically. But yeah, it's.
But sorry,
it adds to the sense of fun, and maybe I'm willing to be more forgiving because it feels so 80s.
I'm going back to the bike cops, right? Because drama.
My apologies, I didn't want to.
Yeah, you totally cut me off. Then drama focusing on an elite LAPD bicycle cop unit. They are an elite bicycle cop
how
unit.
could I not known that you would want to talk more about bike cops? I mean, it's a horrendous oversight on my part.
I just wanted to say that, and then I just got cut off by Orion Films. I'm not ending it there.
Well, I was trying to keep the podcast on track, but listen. I actually, you've said that now. I'm just like, that actually sounds pretty awesome.
When have I ever kept this podcast on track?
Yeah, it's a good point. But yeah, I mean, this is one of those films, like, right from the off, I was just like, I don't know what kind of movie I'm going to get with the opening credits where everything's in gold. I was just like, I'm not sure if this film's going to be very good or not. You know, like sometimes you just get a vibe from the credits. You're like, oh, this could really go either way. And then you get that opening sequence with the ship on fire. I'm like, that's kind of cool. But then before you get the action, it kind of cuts away. I was just like, is that kind of speaking to the limited budget? And I think the whole sequence was basically done just to have that cool cutaway sequence that you mentioned earlier with Sheen on the beach, where, he looks like he's injured, but actually he's just drunk. And it's a woman's, I don't know why he's got a woman's high heel in his shirt.
I don't know.
But for the kind of visual gag, it kind of worked, I suppose. But yeah, it's just like, we're going to do serious action and military kind of, undertakings. That's a horrible way of putting it. But we're also going to have Charlie Sheen just being a bit of a crackhead. So that's going to be fun, isn't it? And I guess it is
a bit of a crackhead.
Okay, he's off his tits the entire film. He's off his tits the entire film. But again, he is enjoyable in this film. I just wish they'd put more of an emphasis on either the group itself or on the relationship between Bane's character, Curran, and Charlie Sheen's character, Hawkins. Because everything in this film feels a little bit wishy-washy to me. If we get over the fact that the tone is inconsistent, I think the narrative itself is a little bit whatever. We've already mentioned the fact that the love triangle isn't really a love triangle. Their relationship, where you're like, Bane plays it by the book, but, fucking Charlie Sheen's a wild card, that doesn't really go anywhere. I know they have the moment, which you can see coming up. Oh, Charlie Sheen shenanigans got somebody killed. What a fucking surprise. It doesn't go anywhere. It's like Bane is upset for like a scene when he's drunk. And then they're just back to the business again. There's nothing really to it. So you have a bunch of like potentially cool ideas, and you have a bunch of very cool characters, but none of it really gels. And as I said, tone inconsistencies aside, I think that's ultimately the movie's greatest sin, is that eventually I'm just like, I don't really care about anything that happens in this film.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, they did the same mission 3 times, and by the third time, I'm like, I'm just.
They're doing the boat thing again. And you're just the boat thing. Okay,
I didn't need as well the in betweens. Like, you're showing days in their lives. We're doing our mission now. I don't know. We're being a team together. We're doing our mission. Now I'm back and I'm trying to seduce this woman. We're doing our mission now. Sheen's like, okay, I don't get the back and forth all the time. Just fucking.
Well, because none of it goes anywhere. Like, nothing kind of like, it would be fine if you were more kind of linked or kind of interested in the characters, but instead things are just happening. But there's a bit too much, and it's not. There aren't enough kind of, I don't know, glue for the narrative strands to stick together. I'm not sure if that analogy works in any way whatsoever, but you get what I'm going for. Yeah. It's just this happens, that happens, this happens, that happens. Like you said, it's quite formulaic. It's like, we have our action set piece. We kind of go away with the guys for a bit. Then it's an action set piece. Rinse, repeat. Too many action set pieces, like you've already said, feel very, very similar. And then before you know it, the movie just kind of ends.
Speaking of similar, do you know what that opening felt like to me?
The attack on the ship.
No, not the attack on the ship. I'm sorry. When the Navy SEALs come in to rescue the guys.
Mm-hmm. At the encampment.
Yeah, the encampment. So they've gone into Ben Shahid's place.
Yeah, got you.
And they busted it.
Not the kind of opening credit sequence.
No, sorry, no. The opening action sequence. Oh, that was an action sequence as well.
No,
the introduction of the Navy SEALs. Let's go there. That felt like a shot for shot Like it was remade in 1997 in was it Extreme Measures when
Classic.
when John Leguizamo and fucking Steven Seagal rock up.
Mhm.
It looks like the exact same building, the
I
exact same.
wouldn't be surprised. I wonder if they kept the bright red gas canisters, because you're just
Yeah.
like, I wonder if they're going to go up in flames. There's like fucking 12 of them. And they're bright red. I'm just like, yeah, I think somebody's going to throw a grenade at those. What did actually surprise me in that sequence?
That was
is
video
when-
game logic.
It's total
Anytime
video
you
game
see a
logic.
red canister, you know to shoot it. I mean, I've recently been playing the new Bond First Light.
I bet you that's got
And-
tons of them.
Oh, fucking hell. I thank them so much for the placement of red, especially when you've got to do the airport sequence and you've got to get to the
Mhm,
plane. There's a lot of red that you can shoot.
You just get used to logic. There's certain games
Yeah.
when you start looking out for yellow because you can climb there.
Climb it,
It's like
yes.
there's, the new Gears of War is coming out soon, and I'm sure they would have refined it to a certain extent. But you walk into a level, and then as soon as you see a kind of waist high wall, you're like, well, I'm about to go into an action sequence.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason. These kind of like thigh high walls aren't everywhere. They're just for when the locals show up and we're about to get into a fight. And this video game, to an extent, this movie to an extent does just feel like a video game at times. Just with, I don't know, slightly better writing. That might actually be being kind. I mean, like you said, Michael Bain has to deliver that line earlier. Like you said, the idea that they're supposed to be this like undercover, unknown operatives, but they're just fucking about everywhere. You're just like, you're not doing a very good job of staying, behind the curtain, so to speak. But he has a line where after they save those guys, funny enough, and he's like, oh, no need to thank us. You didn't see us. We don't exist.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my God, they gave that line to Michael Bain, the poor fucking guy. It's a horrible line to have to deliver. And it has no relevance for the rest of the film. Because
as soon as he says that,
yeah,
because as soon as he says that, then no, it was the wedding before. The wedding's before. Everyone knows that wedding where they go, the Navy SEALs, they're about to go on a mission. But then he introduces a reporter to their training ground. Come see where we train in sequence. Come see everything we do.
That was like his almost idea of a first date. And then he took it to that, was it like CQC section? Where it's a close quarters combat section?
We call it the kill house.
The kill house, yeah. And then they come in with live fucking rounds. I'm like, listen, I can see what he was going for, but what response did he think he was going to get?
I don't know.
It's so extreme. For the guy who's supposed to be quite professional, he put her in the way of live rounds. I'm just like, I don't know, man. It feels like he could have easily got sued for that, but hey, each their own. So I've just left you with a complete grenade there where I just stopped talking.
Okay. I was just looking now.
Well, I was going to say, because you mentioned it earlier. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say how mental the Charlie Sheen getting his car towed was. Well, that felt like it was from a different movie again.
That's literally just what I was going to say. Great minds. So Charlie Sheen is like both the film's biggest asset and his biggest problem. He's magnetic, funny, reckless, and absolutely not playing Navy SEAL. We've already said he's playing himself. And the movie just lets him. Again, I honestly think somebody told Charlie Sheen's real car and he went back and got it. Anything Charlie Sheen is doing, it's Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, and he just went after it like fucking like a cartoon character and jumps off the car, and it feels like an 80s teen movie. And then it goes directly to the underwater boat sequence, which suddenly looks like Metal Gear Solid. And you're just like, and that sequence is amazing, and it looks so legit. And they infiltrate the boat. Again, you're like, wait, which sequence where they infiltrate a boat? It feels like there's 17 of them. But just before they go into the boat, it's the first bit where they have their underwater raft. Basically, it's when they do it properly, other than later in the film, when they decide to do the same trick with the raft, only they jump into the water with their Lebanese militia suits on, which just dry magically immediately. It makes no sense, but sure, we'll allow it.
If it wasn't for the sorry, I was trying to finish up the towing sequence, and we just went into the boat. Sorry, I just want to say, if it wasn't for the stuntman on this bicycle being 2 foot taller than Charlie Sheen, I would honestly believe it was Charlie Sheen that was doing all of that. But it was a lot of that, especially Charlie Sheen's stuntman. You could clearly see, unfortunately.
You could. There are like, I would say legitimately 5 or 6 times where you're just like, oh, that's just clearly the stuntman. And this could be the whole HD era, because we've run into this problem a few times in movies where you're just like, it wouldn't have been quite so prevalent or clear in standard definition. But now the bit when he's carrying Michael Biehn for the final shootout, it just cuts away. It's just like, well, that's a stuntman. That sequence is 2 bits. There's the guy on the bike. Then there's the guy who actually drives the car for him. Yeah. You're like, that's just a stuntman again. But yeah, it seems to be all the Charlie Sheen sequences. And I'm like, well, why didn't they trust Charlie Sheen to do his own stunts? Oh, yeah, cocaine. It was cocaine.
Do we get this iteration, this reality version of Charlie Sheen if he gave up the Bear movie and did Karate Kid?
I mean, I can't see a world where he didn't get on the gear, but I'm more interested in the idea of what would Karate Kid have looked like if it had been Charlie Sheen rather than because he's actually got like a similar vibe to Ralph Macchio in terms of that slightly like cocky, punchable kid.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm not sure if I should be rooting for him or rooting against him. And that was as much the writing as it was the character, but they both have that same energy. So I think maybe he could have done it, but it would have been a different movie for sure.
I mean, you look at Charlie Sheen now, and Charlie Sheen is wholeheartedly playing the bully back then. He's not playing the kid getting bullied. Although, to be fair, playing the bully means he was playing the Karate Kid. So
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, there's the whole question with the Karate Kid about whether he's actually the good guy or the bad guy, and you're very much in the camp that Daniel LaRusso is the problem.
Daniel LaRusso's a twat.
Well, no, but that was the argument we made before. There are two different conversations. I absolutely agree that Daniel LaRusso is a twat, but I also don't think he's a bully. I think he does get bullied, but I don't think he does himself any favors. And it gets worse with the second film. He's even worse in that one, and by the third film, whatever kind of thing. But yeah, if it's Charlie Sheen doing it, I don't know. Is it a different film? Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. Is it a better movie? Charlie Sheen's probably a better actor at his peak than Ralph Macchio. But anyway, we don't go too far down that rabbit hole. Would Ralph Macchio have worked in Navy SEALs, for instance?
Can you imagine?
No, not really, sadly.
Yeah.
But then Charlie Sheen had such a weird career because in like the early 90s, like obviously he was this kind of like teen, almost like heartthrob in the 80s. He did teen movies. And then all of a sudden he became an action guy. He didn't do many great action films, but he did enough. And it's odd because around this time, I associated him almost exclusively with what's it called? The Hot Shots.
Yeah.
Like, so I always thought of him, like, whenever I saw him in an action movie when he was playing it seriously, I just kept thinking he was going to say something funny because of Hot Shots. And I just always struggled with that. But
I'm arguing with you in regards to, you said they were not very good action movies. Are you telling me Terminal Velocity was not a good action movie? Are you telling me the Rookie with Clint Eastwood was not a good action movie? You know, Beyond the Law, where he did the Stone Cold, not Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Stone Cold cop being a biker movie.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue that Charlie Sheen, I mean, because that's the thing, right? There's Platoon, obviously, but that is an action movie. That's a war movie. That's like Oscar bait. That's a different beast. In terms of like more your late 80s, early 90s classic action movies, I would make a pretty strong argument that Charlie Sheen hasn't been in an objectively and outright good action movie. And maybe I'm missing one. You haven't named one, just to be clear. You definitely haven't named one.
I mean, I'm not naming.
It's fine. It's fine.
I'm not naming The Arrival. I could tell you that much. The one where the only way you can tell if they're aliens is because their knees bend backwards. Funny as fuck.
So we should do though. Is there actually, sorry, like jokes aside, is there actually a genuinely objectively good action movie he was in around this time?
No, he didn't really do many. If we're talking action movies, we should do The Three Musketeers.
I did actually quite like that back in the day, and it's got that. Listen, I know it's cheesy. I like the song.
So starting from Navy SEALs in '90, he went on to do Men at Work. He did Cadence.
I like Men at Work.
Cadence was directed by Martin Sheen.
We did Men at Work, didn't we?
We've done Men at Work. Yeah. He did The Rookie, and then Hot Shots, then Loaded Weapon 1, and then that Beyond the Law, Hot Shots Part 2. The Three Musketeers. The Chase with I remember her name. Oh fuck me, what was her name? Kirsty Swanson.
Okay.
Where he played he kidnapped her after he busted out of jail and they fell in love on the like the
Oh no, tell a lie. I think I've seen that film.
Yeah.
It's not very good.
It's all right.
It's fine.
All right. But no.
Did he do one with Chris Tucker as well in like the early 2000s?
He did do one with Chris Tucker, Money Talks, where he was that was 1997.
Yeah, another just like whatever film. Like that's the thing, Charlie Sheen. He did a lot of very good work in the 80s, and then as you just found out from that list, you've rather fit. not great in the 90s, or inconsistent at best. Let's put it that way.
To be fair, because he was just taking anything so he could pay for hookers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's a bit of a shame because he's clearly a very talented actor, and he just wasted what could have been the best years of his career. But anyway, that's a whole other podcast, to be honest.
Yep.
But bringing it back to this, and we'd have a similar conversation about Michael Biehn, as we found in this film, isn't as talented. And I love Michael Biehn, but he's not as talented as Charlie Sheen. But he's clearly a supporting character. Like, he's great in Tombstone. He's great in Aliens. He has moments in this, but as soon as you're asking him to be the leading man, the love interest, all these things, it just doesn't work. And you think about the best actors, like I said, he was throwing a bunch of grenades, but the biggest movie stars can take, let's be clear, pretty bad dialogue and make it work. That's part of the reason why they are movie stars. Yeah. He doesn't have that ability. He just doesn't. Like, the lines in this film are largely bad, and they're bad coming out of his mouth, sadly. And that's one of the movie's biggest issues. One of the many, sadly.
Yeah, the writing isn't good in this. It was just a bunch of male bravado that didn't seem to work. You had the forgotten, aside from the three main ones, or four main ones if you want to include Dennis Haysbert as Graham, I couldn't pick the other two guys out of a lineup. They're just generic one and generic two.
When the guy got shot in, like, the Beirut car escape at the end, I was just like, I didn't even know he got shot. I was just like, who the fuck was that guy? I can't even remember. Yeah, at least three of them, absolutely forgettable.
Yeah, Rick Rossovich to a degree.
No, I agree. He was one of the ones that's more memorable.
Yeah. But Michael Biehn, Rick Rossovich, Bill Paxton, Dennis Haysbert, and Charlie Sheen. But then I think the other two or three, Rexer and Ramos.
No idea. No idea. Clue. They did not land a blow, so to speak. I just can't remember anything. Like, when one of them got shot, I was like, I don't even know which one of them got shot at this point, and I don't really care. And it's a shame because his was the only death that was memorable. It's like when Paxton dies, that guy gets the drop on him. He shoots him at close range with his sniper rifle. I was like, wait, did Paxton get shot? I guess so. Like, was it clear to you?
No.
No, I was just
I blinked and I missed it, and they were just like, oh, God's dead.
Yeah, it was just like, like, so he died, and it was similar with Haysbert death. It's just like, there's a shootout, and you're just like, oh, Haysbert, oh, he's dead. Most of them, you didn't even see the shot. They were just like, oh, I guess they're dead now. The only one who had a memorable death was the dude in the car, and I don't remember the guy.
We kept getting Haysbert as well. We kept getting Chekhov's Haysbert's dead, because I don't know how many times they were hinting that he was dead, or he got shot at some point. He was behind enemy lines and Hawkins came out to save him, which then probably led to him dying. I think it was Haysbert whose chute fucked up on the halo jump and he had to cut it and do another one.
Oh, that was because the halo jump, as great as it is, like you said, it is by the numbers, and I'm sure it's technically very accurate. But the one thing it's missing, and say if you compare that with Mission Impossible Fallout, or I know it's not a halo jump, but famous parachute jump, you think Point Break, is that the sequence has a threat. It has stakes. That sequence, as great as it looks, they were just like, listen, we've got this amazing sequence. It looks fantastic. There's no danger. Like, they tried to build up because Paxton is scared, and that sequence, like you said, is in terms of tonally, it threads the needle better there than it does any other sequence, because it looks great. It feels like they're going for some kind of military authenticity. You've got the back and forth between everybody on the plane. You got Paxton playing out by the fact because he's like scared of jumping out, which is completely reasonable. They're about to do a halo jump, and it's all great until the moment they jump out the plane. Then suddenly you're just like, there's no risk. Like, what's the danger here? So they're just like, how about one of them, their parachute doesn't go off? And it looks great because clearly they shot that all for real. And he comes out with the safety parachute, and then he just lands in the water fine, and everyone just forgets about it. Yeah. It's so contrived, that whole sequence with the parachute, and absolutely needs. It's just someone in the writing room just going, we need something for the sequence.
Did you say they mentioned as well about his parachute being packed to shit? Did you just say
that? They did mention that. Yeah. Well, no, I didn't mention them, but they did mention the film.
Yeah, because they were doing it, and they whole point was that parachute. I wouldn't jump with this, and you don't know whether they're messing it, like saying it's just.
Well, they said that to Paxton though. He said
it was Paxton, was it?
Yeah, because they were winding him up because he was scared. So that was just a joke. And then one of the fucking parachutes didn't go off anyway. As I said, it's a contrived element to an otherwise like wonderfully shot sequence.
Yeah.
And, a bit of a shame, but it's still a fantastic sequence. And probably the second best sequence is the attack on Beirut at the end. And don't be wrong, this is proper late 80s, early 90s cinema, where it's like, listen, I know Beirut was war-torn at the time, but it looks like a cross. I mean, this is the second time we're bringing it up. It looks like a cross between Gears of War and Escape from New York. It's so war-torn. Just like, as soon as you land, just like, oh, it's hell on earth in Beirut.
It's war-torn to fuck, except for Ben Shahid's building.
Of course.
Perfect. Right up until they blow the missiles.
Which looks great. When the building goes down, it looks fantastic. And finally, you have the stakes, which have been lacking throughout the film. And finally, we get to those missiles, which the whole film's predicated on, which I couldn't give two tosses about. They just, again, they didn't establish enough of a threat with these missiles. So just like, again, to reference what we were talking about before this podcast started, we'd just seen Spider-Man. The whole small potatoes versus big potatoes thing. This movie feels aggressively small potatoes, but everyone's talking like it's big potatoes. And it's just like, dude, do we really give a shit about this handful of fucking missile launches? I just don't. But we're willing to risk, I don't know how many fucking lives to get them back. It's absolutely ludicrous. But as I said, the shot at the end did look cool at least.
Another film in the second week where somebody just decides to grab one of the bad guys' rocket launchers and just use it for themselves.
Yeah. And there are, because there's the super rocket launchers, the Stinger missiles. That's what they call them.
The super rocket launchers.
Yeah, the super rocket launchers. You have to differentiate because that final sequence does have just a bunch of bad guys popping out of nowhere with rocket launchers. Yeah. So there's one bit when somebody figures out that they're not actually Lebanese militia, and he just pops out, shoots a rocket at them, doesn't follow, just like, I reckon I killed them all. And then he just wander off. They just walk off like nothing's happened. Oh, well, we missed that rocket. Danger is over, fellas. And even then, they were just, it's like all like in the writing room, they go back and they're like, oh, we're losing any sense of threat here. Or how about we create a totally arbitrary time threat in which if the SEALs don't get back to the submarine, then they'll be left there. Well, why is there a time? Well, the sun's about to come up. Yeah, but it's a submarine. Yeah, but they'll be able to see the submarine. Submarines submerge, though, right? Like they go under. Well, that's kind of the point. Yeah, but they'll definitely be able to see us. It's maybe I'm the idiot, and that makes sense.
I'm thinking what to say. It might be because if they're still around and it's daylight, I'm doing a lot of work for the movie here. It can't not submerge. What's the word? Remerge?
Remerge, yeah. It can't remerge.
Yeah, it can't come up because it might take a while to do it because the ballast and everything. So it could get shot. Yeah, but I love that ending. Like
fucking stretch.
But I love that ending as well because you've got basically somebody was on the periscope doing a play-by-play to the captain. Well, I see the SEALs, but Ben Shahid's on a little tiny boat with his guy. Oh, it's okay. Because now they've blown up the boat with a grenade. Hawkins has got him under the water. Let me just sink this under the water. Oh yeah, he's got him. Oh, finally, he's stabbed him in the throat with a knife. We're good. We can rescue him now. It's fine.
Yeah, it's what is the word? Dumb. Speaking of it, like when they finally do escape, so they get away. Like, there is a cool chase sequence, like you said. Like the one anonymous SEAL gets killed. They're getting chased by it's like an APC. That whole sequence is actually pretty cool. And then they run out into the water. They have the fight with Ben Rashid. We're going to keep naming him by his full name for reasons. But they are out in the water. And at this point, they're like, all right, well, the submarine might have been gone. I know what I'll do. I'll blow up the boat.
Yeah.
Dude, don't blow up the boat. We might almost...
That's what I was thinking.
Don't blow up the boat. Too late. Grenade's gone in. These aren't the sharpest tool in the box, fellas.
Did Ben Shahid only have 2 guys left as well? So they just gone to the tiny boat.
Yeah. That was it. Left. Everyone else was dead, apparently.
I like to think as well, there's a world now where after they were rescued by the submarine, and they went back home, they had another wake for the other 2 guys, for Bill Claxton and for
back at the pizza
place. Guy. No, in like a Domino's or a Pizza Hut. They just
I mean, that's the thing. It's an adjacent movie. I mean, it's a sidestep from where they were. The only difference is they don't serve booze. They were literally at a fucking pizza place with like 80-style arcade machines. It was the worst wake in movie history. The worst wake. Should we move on to Rob's? We haven't done a Rob's take yet.
I did have a few. No, I did have a Rob's take. I've already used it. It was the destruction of the golf course, but that's okay. But as soon as Charlie Sheen parks wrong, we're going to tow it. Like the rules seemed off for me.
Yeah, I don't know. There's no reason, like you said, nobody's supposed to know who these guys are. why they should be able to get away with that on a golf course.
And if we're going to just chuck another one in, it's the fact that this movie is just so mishmash, but then we're just going to put a proper Halo jump scene in and make him look competent all of a sudden.
Well, like you say, it's not just the Halo jump. Like you said, the sequence earlier that looks like it may have even inspired the introduction to Metal Gear Solid. The bit where he has like the suit on, he goes under the water to is it Outer Heaven? I think it is the base, whatever it is. I always mix up my Metal Gear Solid games. That whole sequence looks amazing. So you do have these moments every so often where we're just like, we're going to go full authenticity, but then we're going to play for yucks 2 minutes later, and it just doesn't land. Do we even have to go through favorite scene? We're both just going to say the Halo jump, right? It's the Halo jump.
I figured you'd say the Halo jump, so I changed mine.
Go for it.
Yeah. So obviously yours is the
Halo
Halo jump.
I don't need to. I mean, other than the fact for the aforementioned issue of the parachute not going off, I thought that was a bit lame. But the whole build up to it, the way it's shot, I was like, this looks absolutely legit. And I thought it was fantastic.
I'm doing a lot of work here, but my favorite scene, he says in quotes, is the Beirut rescue. It's the one time.
That'll be my second one. That'll be my second one.
It's the one time the film stops being a frat party and remembers it's supposed to be an action film.
Mm-hmm.
Bane brings actual gravitas. Paxton gets a moment of sincerity, and Sheen does a combat role so theatrical it feels like he's practicing for Hot Shots. It's chaotic, loud, and drenched in early 90s America will fix it energy, but it's easily the film's second best sequence.
No, it is. No, you're absolutely right. Like because I was thinking about writing that down, but no, I was like, it is the Halo sequence because it just looks fantastic. But the Beirut sequence is the movie that I thought this was going to be. I wasn't expecting the Halo jump sequence because that was better than I was expecting. But in terms of tonally, because you know it's going to be a bit fun because it's got Charlie Sheen and a bit of back and forth. But in terms of that balance between action and like laughs and all that jazz, I thought the whole film would be going for the tone that they capture for the last 20 minutes. It's like the at least it ends well. Like the ending of the film is genuinely quite good. And it's a shame that more of the build up to it can be more consistent. But that is wildly inconsistent. That's how I describe this film ultimately. Oscar season, in which we hand out 3 Oscars and 3 Razzies in categories of our choosing. So for me, the Oscar for amazing action set piece in an otherwise ho-hum movie goes to the Halo jump. Already chatted about that. 2, the Oscar for quickest drying clothes this side of Back to the Future 2 goes to their Lebanese militia disguises. They even establish it earlier. It's like, well, if we're going into the sea, we all wear the wetsuits and we go out onto the boat. But it's like, no, we're just jumping in with the fucking 100% cotton suits. Ludicrous. As soon as their informant, that kid, as soon as they rock up, they're all dry as a bone. It's like a video game. And 3, the Oscar for getting through the working day on 2 hours sleep and 7 lines of coke goes to Charlie Sheen. And I'm probably lowballing him then with 7 lines of coke and highballing him there with 2 hours of sleep. But God bless him for getting through the movie.
The Oscar for the best use of sunglasses indoors goes to Charlie Sheen. That's probably to hide his red eyes.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. That's all linked, yeah.
The Oscar for the best I'm too serious for this film performance is Michael Biehn. He's definitely in a film nobody else knows they're in.
And the lines he's given, bless his heart. Jesus Christ.
And as much as I feel he was underused or not used at all, the Oscar for the best supporting legend is Bill Paxton.
He is a legend, and he's good when he's on screen. He doesn't get enough time, sadly. Oh, dude, if you're going to go for it, why wasn't, for the reasons we've already discussed, cut 3 of the, we don't even know if it's 2 or 3. We don't know how many Navy SEALs we're forgetting. It's 2 or 3 of the bastards, but cut them and just give us more Paxton. Yeah, ridiculous. Any alternative titles for this? Oh, sorry.
Razzies?
No. Oh, the Razzies, my apologies. The Razzie for worst wake in movie history goes to Graham and his wake at the Ready Room Pizza. I will repeat that one more time. His wake at the Ready Room Pizza.
His missus seemed more upset that she didn't get the fucking flag than her fiancé died.
I was trying to figure that out. I think he was basically saying with the flag thing is that if we'd been married, because he couldn't tell her how he died. And the way he was taught, I think they were implying that he died a heroic death. That's what I think they were getting at.
Yeah, but she was saying, if we were married, would I have got the flag, not his fucking mum and dad?
Yeah, but I think that's how it came out. I think what they were going for is that I know you can't tell me, but if he had died and we'd been married, would I be getting a flag because he had died? That's what I thought they were going for. But the whole sequence.
No, I was just like, all she was doing, she's like some weird badge chaser or something. She just wants to fuck somebody so she can get their.
Well, everything
flag.
with Jelena in this film is weird. Her showing up with the boys is mental. That whole sequence of the flag is poorly written. Like I'm saying that, I'm arguing the case. I'm not convinced. When Bean goes to tell her that husband's dead, and the way she breaks down, it feels like she's going for an Oscar. I'm like, dude, love, not this film. It doesn't need that. You can turn that down a couple of fucking notches. Have you seen how Charlie Sheen is turning up to work today? Yeah, more strangeness. The Razzie for Worst Love Triangle goes to Hawkins, Curran, and Claire. Genuinely appalling. I still don't know what they were going for, what they achieved. Did they sleep together? We don't know. Do we care? Definitely not. And the Razzie for Worst Top Gun ripoff goes to A Round of Golf with the SEALs. We've talked about a bunch of times, but how they looked at the Top Gun, and they clearly looked at Top Gun when we want to recreate that. I know. Golf. We're going to go with golf. Jeez.
That'll be my first fact, but I'll get into that when we get to fact.
Ace.
But basically, yeah, the worst attempt at doing Top Gun camaraderie I had was
it's the correct answer.
Yeah.
It's the correct answer.
The Razzie for the worst tactical decision making was the entire SEAL team.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, the Razzie for the worst attempt at a love subplot. Charlie Sheen's character, who has the romantic depth of a crisp packet at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of... The thing is, I would actually say that in that one sequence when Charlie Sheen was being racist and being sexually inappropriate with Claire, they had more chemistry than Claire did with Michael Biehn, 100%.
Yeah.
And maybe that just speaks to Charlie Sheen, but it's just like, that's what we're working with this film. Any alternative titles? I hope not, because as much as I criticize this film, the title Navy SEALs is pretty cool.
I mean, this is exactly what it says on the tin, doesn't it? So
it does indeed.
Argentina, Navy SEAL Shark Command?
Nope.
Brazil, Unbeatable Command?
Nope.
French Canada, The Best?
Absolutely not.
Denmark, Navy SEALs, The Elite Soldiers?
And just be clear, they are clearly not the best at anything. Just that's...
Denmark, Navy SEALs, The Elite Soldiers?
Okay, sorry.
Estonia, Special Operations Unit?
Yeah, a little bit more formal.
Finland, Navy SEALs, Special Forces?
Was the space included?
Yes, sorry.
Navy SEALs, Special Forces.
I lost my space.
Oh, no, I like the dramatic pause. I quite enjoyed it.
Germany, Navy SEALs, the toughest elite force in the world.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
A little bit overwritten.
Greece, NAS, Special Disasters Team. Hungary, Elite Commando.
Yeah.
Italy just watched the film a bit. Navy SEALs, Pay to Die.
No, absolutely not.
They said that in the film, didn't they? They're paid to die if they have to.
Yeah, but is it paid to die or pay to die? The title?
Paid.
Oh, paid to die. That makes a bit more sense. It's like paid to die? Okay, fair enough.
Poland, Commando Foki.
Okay, that's got to be a translation issue.
Yeah. Portugal, Commands to Win.
No, it sounds like a sports film.
Turkey, Navy Tigers.
What's up with this tigers, shark shit? It's just,
Ukraine, Fur Seals Squad.
No, again, that sounds like a Waterworld sequel.
Yeah. And Vietnam SEAL Force.
No, the only one I liked was the one. It was by accident. It was when you put the dramatic pause in there. Navy SEAls, Special Forces. Yeah, that's the one we're going to go for.
Yeah.
Any facts of this film?
Yep. And I had one all ready.
So even that was a dramatic pause. Yep. Is he going to tell us, though? We don't know.
I'm just keeping you in suspense. Originally, the men were going to play touch football, but Bill Paxton felt the scene was too similar to the volleyball scene in Top Gun. So he suggested that they play golf instead. Oh, Most of the golf sequence was directed by Paxton with a second unit crew. So it's Paxton's fault.
I feel like a basketball game. Get them on the court or something. I get the whole football thing is a little... In fairness, they did the football scene in Top Gun Maverick, didn't they?
Yeah.
That was what they chose for Top Gun Maverick. I know it's quite close, arguably closer to volleyball, but golf is too far away from what they're going for, that's for sure.
In a 2012 interview, Michael Biehn stated that working on this film was probably the worst experience of his life. He stated that we wanted to make a really good movie, and it really turned out to be kind of a mishmash, and not a very good movie at all. The script could have been shaped to be much better, and you just hate to see all that talent and passion go to waste.
Yeah, and he's nailed it there. That's the biggest issue of this film. Is that, and like I said, it is oddly watchable, but what drives you crazy is that the ingredients are there and you see hints of it of a genuinely good film. This film could have been awesome and maybe should have been at least very good. And instead, you're just like, it's just turned into a bit of a mess. And I can imagine if you're making the film, you're just like, look at all the talent we've got involved. Look, like the concept's solid, and it just doesn't come together.
Chief Dave, one of several real-life SEALs who would later play themselves in the film Act of Valor, cites this film as his introduction to the world of SEALs and inspired him to join them.
Well, it is borderline propaganda. This is still just about the era of kind of military propaganda. You know, it's like, oh, how cool is this? Dude, you should totally join the military.
What else have we got here? During a segment at the golf course, Leary, Rick Rossovich, is seen wearing a Martini Ranch t-shirt. Bill Paxton, who plays Dane, was a member of the 80s rock band Martini Ranch.
That's pretty cool.
The Ready Room Bar and Pizza is still open, although a fire destroyed many of the memorabilia items signed by the cast.
Oh, that sucks. I'm glad to hear you're still there, though.
Are you? Because you didn't fucking like it.
Yeah, well, no, I it looks like the kind of place I'd like to go. It's not the kind of place I'd like to have a fucking wake. Very, very different. You know, it's just like, no, this place is cool. If I was going for, I don't know, a drink or like that, or Bosch, where he's like, I came here to have a few drinks with my friends, play some arcade games, and watch some sport. That sounds fun. Tough tits, mate. We're having a fucking wake, an inappropriate wake at the pizza place.
The producers wanted Ridley Scott to direct the film, but negotiations fell through.
Oh, imagine the film. Imagine how much better this would have been if Ridley Scott.
I mean, yeah, but I think this is a Tony Scott film. This should have been a Tony Scott.
Oh, this totally should. I mean, it's too on the nose for Tony Scott to take this because of Top Gun, obviously. But yeah, this would have been great as Tony Scott. But Ridley Scott, it would have been a different film. But that isn't necessarily a bad thing.
I've got a. Sorry, I'm just skipping through now because a lot of these facts are this person and this person were in this film together. This person and this film were in this person together.
Fair enough.
Oh, check out this fact. Rick Rossovich appeared in Top Gun, and Charlie Sheen starred in Hot Shots, a parody of Top Gun.
See, yeah, this is what we're dealing with now.
We're bringing you the gold now that nobody else will bring you.
Yeah,
I'll give you one more.
Right.
This is one of numerous films to feature a heavily wounded Michael Biehn being carried away from danger by comrades. Others include The Terminator, where he's held up by Linda Hamilton, and Aliens, where Sigourney Weaver basically holds him around like a ragdoll. In brackets, I'm putting Michael Bihn's a pussy.
No, dude, I'm so glad. Right, I had this down in my notes, and I just kind of we skipped over it because we jumped somewhere else. He absolutely overcooks being injured in every. Like, I love Michael Biehn in Aliens. I love him in Terminator. Every time he gets injured, he turns that acting up to 11. I can still see it in my head so clearly when he, like, don't get me wrong, I get it. He's been burned by acid by an alien. But the way he kind of throws his head back and he's just, dude, you don't need to be that injured. And he does the same in this. I know he's being shot and stuff, but he just overacts. He totally overacts, but only specifically when he's injured in movie. There's no other point in Aliens, in Terminator, in fucking Tombstone, in this, where I'm like, oh, Michael Biehn's overacting. But as soon as he gets injured, oh yeah, he's going for it. Even Tombstone, when he gets shot, he takes fucking ages to die. He says, you ain't no Daisy. You ain't no Daisy. Val Kilmer gets like 12 lines. He's been shot in the head.
Fairness, he decided to take ages to die because they spent ages drawing their fucking guns. All they did was walk around in a circle for like what felt like 25 fucking minutes.
I will not have you besmirch one of the greatest modern westerns once again. Tombstone it's not a masterpiece because it's a bit too silly. It's really fun though. But anyway, it's maybe my favorite 4-star film of all time. I think that would probably be closer to the conversation there. But yeah, Michael Biehn, I do like him, but he's terrible at acting injured. And the worst thing is he's asked to do it a lot. Yeah. Yeah, and he's terrible at this film. What did you think? Sorry, one last thing. When he gets injured and he's doing his shtick, they give him morphine, and they go out of the way to steam morphine. And you see 1 or 2 sequences when he has a wry smile on his face. And I'm like, oh, they're going to go for like a comedic bit here where he'll start reacting in an inappropriate way because he's on drugs. It just never happens. They totally set it up, and then it just never happens. I'm convinced it's on the cutting room floor.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. How to the Future, remake, sequel, Let It Die or Leave Well Alone. I had Let It Die written down, but we just talked there about how this is a great idea which doesn't quite come together. And we've always said these are the films you should be remaking. Ones where you're like, oh, it's a really cool idea, but they don't quite land the plane. So theoretically, I'm not against the idea of remaking this film because I think there is a better version of this film to be made. But I also don't think the idea is that great, so I'm still happy to let it die.
I mean, there is a better version of this film to be made, but unfortunately, this film is so generic. It's about a bunch of Navy SEALs doing a Navy SEAL job
Exactly, that's the issue.
that you could basically, you've remade this film already. Fucking look at that TV show that went on far too long with Angel, the SEAL team or SEALs,
Oh
or
yeah,
whatever
yeah,
it's called.
yeah, yeah.
You've done this already. You've done this. So yeah, I think it's a let it die.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Exact same reason.
Yeah.
In terms of making a change, I mean, I could talk about the greater emphasis on like Curran and Hawkins, but the reality is, it's the tone. It's just, even Michael Bain said, the fact that it's a mismatch, that is the correct way of putting it. This film is too much of a mess. It's too much of a mismatch. They needed to settle on a tone and be a little bit more consistent. And I think that would have improved the movie tenfold, to be honest. So I'll go with tone.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I got two answers. The joke answer again is basically pick a writer, because it went through so many fucking rewrites. It's ridiculous.
Well, you can feel it, can't you? You can totally feel it.
But I guess the real one is like, give the team actual tactical discipline. For all this macho energy and big budget military toys, it's crying out for one simple fix. You make the team behave like SEALs.
Yeah.
There's no way Hawkins is running out and being one-man army every fucking time. There's no way it's happening. They would have cut him off the team a long time ago.
100%. 100%.
So give them actual team tactical discipline. You showed it in the fucking Halo. They can do what they can do, but
yeah, like you said, if you're playing the kind of authenticity card, if you have Hawkins kind of going against orders and it leads to an issue, you'd have Michael Bain coming out and giving him an absolute grilling. It's like, you do that again, fucking this and that. But it's all wishy-washy, just like, oh, it's just the lads, and then we're all playing golf for some reason. Yeah, totally inconsistent. In terms of video games, there were a bunch of video games because this was the era of Ocean Software.
Ocean, I'm so glad we're back to Ocean.
I know. Honestly, when I looked up, I was like, God, it feels like a long time since we've seen an Ocean Software. And for those in America who perhaps aren't so au fait with Ocean Software in their video games, they used to do a lot of home computer ports. So unsurprisingly, when it comes to Navy SEALs, there were releases on the Amstrad, the Commodore 64, the Atari, Amiga, ZX Spectrum. There was a later port for the Game Boy. But, when I think of this game, I think of the giant box you used to get for Ocean Software games. When you went to like W.H. Smith's, you went upstairs in there and they have a computer game section, not a video game section, a computer game section. And they have all the different versions of Atari. I always remember the 89 Batman game, which had like a fucking ginormous box and would come on like 4 floppy disks. Absolutely fantastic stuff. And surprisingly, it was a pretty good port.
Yeah, it was rated quite highly. And it's funny. I mean, if you had to pick one of the Navy SEALs to be the main character, you would have picked Hawkins, wouldn't you?
100%, yeah. And that's the thing, like, it actually looks pretty good to this day. Most of the ports are pretty consistent. So yeah, good reviews across the board. If I was going, if anything, it was certainly received much better than the movie. If I was going to make a version of this game, say, it'd be a great excuse to bring back Ghost Recon. But the better versions of Ghost Recon, not the big open world ones. I'm thinking like Future Soldier, maybe. That'd be a good example. Where you go in as a squad, you can pick your character and you just take out a bunch of people. Keep the story to a minimum. You can have your wildcard character, but it comes out in the missions itself. So I would just use it as an excuse to bring back Ghost Recon, but just call it Navy SEALs instead. But have Ubisoft make it. Excuse me.
I went Navy SEALs. I went SOCOM US Navy SEAls.
That makes sense.
It's
same ballpark.
Again, yeah, you've done exactly what I said when we said about remake. It's a generic Navy SEAL team doing generic Navy SEAL team shit. So you pick it out of there and you put it into there. So
it feels interchangeable. We said, this film at times does feel like a video game. No, never more so than when you had the red gas canisters, obviously.
Yeah.
But this could be any number of video games, if truth be told. IMDb, this is where we pick a random 10-star and 1-star review. Before we do that, I try and guess how many written reviews there are for 1990s Navy SEAls. I have no feel for as to whether, was this popular in America? I know it wasn't a big hit at the cinema. I think it had a production budget of like 21 million and made 25, which is a flop.
I think this
did big numbers on VHS.
Yeah,
big numbers.
This is hoorah, isn't it? This is like fucking America saving the world stuff. So I think it would have.
But it's also not a great movie. Is it over? It's over 150.
It's not over 150 now.
127.
116.
Ooh, yeah, not bad. It needs a little hint, but not bad. Not bad.
10 stars.
10 star. Oh, I mean, they'll be fucking. Imagine giving this film 10 stars. That'd be insane. Some people will have though 6.
16 of the fuckers gave it.
Oof, that is 10 more than it should be. That's for sure. No. Just because I said 6, the answer is that is 60 more than it should be. Yeah. My apologies.
Written in August of 2002, titled "One of the Best." But before I even read the review, and I don't think it's going to be as inconsistent as the title. One of capital O lowercase t, lowercase f, the capital T H lowercase e, and best for some reason all lowercase. He's fucking got all over the shop with that
These are
title.
the people who write these reviews. Just that reminder that for most of the films we pick, the 10-star and 1-star reviews, generally speaking, are pretty mental. And let's be clear, this film is not a 10-star review, so there has to be something going on there.
I love this movie. Charlie Sheen, Michael Biehn are like the greatest action actors ever. This movie had lots of funny and lots of gory explosion scenes too. I recommend this film. I like how they go to Beirut. It's very realistic. Navy SEALs is a 10. Navy SEALs are one of the most hardworking and toughest position in the military. I love it. I love how they go to Beirut. I don't know how they got there, but I love that they got to Beirut.
I don't want to be a dick. It sounds a little bit autistic, this whole review. It just does.
You mean from Toyota Supra Freak?
This is what we're working with. 1-star reviews. Now, there should be more. There should definitely be more. Because even though I wouldn't give it a 1, I can understand and I can go on that journey. Are there more than 16?
I'm not saying.
Fuck's sake. I see there might be less. I'm going to go with 10.
What was your original guess for the 10 stars? Was it 6?
Yeah,
7 reviews. 7 1-stars.
That's not as many as it should be, but that's fine. That's fine. Like this might be more sensible in fairness.
Well, he's put the capitals in the right places, so I'll give him that.
That's a good start. Good start.
Written in October 2006, titled "A Pointless Waste of Time."
Fair enough.
I'm sure this is a film that sits very well with people being inducted into the US military. I can easily picture a darkened theatre where somewhere. I can easily picture a darkened theatre somewhere at Camp Pendleton with a few hundred spotty oiks all cheering as Towelhead is uttered and a few natives get blown away. Sadly, it's this type of idiocy that has the US in the woeful position it's in right now. This was 2006, by the way.
Yeah.
Stupidity
this
is
a little bit kind of soapbox in there.
Yeah. Stupidity is contagious, and this film, along with other members of the mindless military genre, such as Top Gun, does nothing except further the belief that America is a buff dude with a huge gun, and the rest of the world is fair game. Sorry, it took me a minute because he wrote
it's
dude.
fine. This all got a little bit political, doesn't it? It's all
he wrote dude, D-O-O-D.
Well, we did warn you. A lot of the people who write the 1-star and 10-star reviews are often pretty crazy, and so has been proven once again. Which leads to our own scores and recommendations. Luckily, we won't be giving it a 1-star. We won't be giving it a 10-star because we work on a 5-star scale. It is a 2-star for me. I would not recommend it. However, it does come with that caveat I mentioned earlier. I did enjoy it. I can't give it higher than a 2 because it's largely shit, but it is oddly watchable. Because that's the thing. It's like this difference. Was it fun? It was oddly watchable because I like all the individual parts, which almost made it more infuriating. Because as we mentioned, you can see the great movie this could have been. It's nowhere near that. It's 2 stars and it's a no. But if you have, it's not one of those films, where, I watched it when I was younger, I loved it. It's just like, it is what it is. But yeah, 2 no, but oddly watchable.
Yeah, it pretty much said this movie that I had fun with is definitely a 2-star, and no, I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, it is weird, isn't it? Because we're just like, it's fun, but then, listen back to the last hour when we tore it to shreds. Yeah. It's just simply not very good. But there are terrible, 2-star films where you're like, it's just not very good, and it was quite boring. This isn't boring. It's quite fun. It's just, it makes so many errors, and it is infuriating to watch, but it's also quite fun for its array of fantastic individual elements, I guess. That has been 1990s Navy SEALs, our 2-star and no, but oddly favorable review. Yeah. Before we move on to my choice, do you have the quiz, sir?
I do, mate. I got a couple of poor man's toes for you, so we'll go straight into it with number 1. Nearly gave you the answer because I put the answer first. But the clue is elite soldiers on a reckless mission collide with a chaotic naval comedy crew who can barely steer the ship.
So is that up Periscope, the second part?
Not up Periscope, but you're on the right track.
So it's a comedy?
Yeah, and I've turned this round. Yes, I put elite soldier, but that's the second. So let me try this again. A chaotic naval comedy crew who can barely steer the ship team up with elite soldiers on a reckless mission.
I don't know, man. I'm struggling with
I'll
that.
give you the second answer is a film we've just covered.
Just covered.
Yeah. Elite soldiers on a reckless mission.
I can hardly remember what we did last week on this podcast.
We didn't do it last week. We've just covered.
Oh, it was in Navy SEALs?
Yes.
Oh, my God. Oh, so, right. So the second part is Navy SEALs, yeah?
Yeah. A chaotic naval comedy crew who can barely steer the ship.
Oh, my God. I've got the second part, Navy SEALs. So these are the ones, when you have these kind of quizzes, people are listening and going like, he's lost his mind. But the problem is, as soon as you put something in your head, my head just keeps going,
You're thinking of Down Periscope, which was the
down, and I keep saying up Periscope. Yeah. It's Down Periscope. I've never seen the film, but that's what I was thinking.
I like Down Periscope. But there was another one with Tom Arnold. Mm-hmm. It was a remake of a TV show.
Something Navy, apparently. Yeah. I'm not going to get it, sorry.
McHale's Navy SEALs.
Oh, yeah. Was there... Listen, I've heard of the TV show, McHale's Navy, but like referenced in other things.
Yeah.
I don't think I was even aware that there was a movie.
Right. Before I get attacked now, because I did that off the top of my head without actually doing any research, I'm sure I've seen a Tom Arnold, McHale's
No,
Navy.
You might well be telling the truth.
Yeah, I know, but I just got to double check now.
I just can't remember that at all. I would have never got it. That makes me feel a little bit better about it.
Whilst, 1997.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm more than willing to believe that. But Tom
Arnold, Dean Stockwell, and Ernest Borgnine. I knew I didn't make it up.
Well, that was a tricky one. I can. No, it's only tricky if you haven't seen it. In fairness,
I got to be careful.
I didn't even get a Periscope right. I just kept saying Down Periscope, which makes no sense.
I got to be careful with these after time because I got to think about I can't go too obscure.
Yeah. And in fairness, I wouldn't have guessed that you would have picked today's pick, for instance. But I should have seen that coming. It was in the explanation.
A ragtag group of adventurers battling dark magic are followed by a noble dragon forming an unlikely bond with an old knight.
Is that the one with not Sean Connery? The one with it is the one with Sean Connery.
Sean Connery was the voice.
Oh, it wasn't Last Night or something like that, was it? Or
no, Sean Connery was the voice of the dragon.
Yeah, he was the voice of the dragon. It wasn't Richard Gere, was it?
No,
that's a different film.
That's First Night.
That's
Sean Connery
yeah.
King
I'm
Arthur.
mixing these all up. Yeah. So I said, even though I think I said Last Night. Jesus Christ, I'm getting close to the wrong answer.
I'll give you. You're close with that one. That was Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid. Okay.
Yeah. And Pete.
Jesus Christ, man! You might be the first person who's mentioned that movie since 1998.
Because they made 5 of those movies.
Yeah, fuck, they made 5 of them.
Yes.
What are they called again?
Well, nearly.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna need. Oh God, I have actually seen that film.
A ragtag group of adventurers battling dark magic. I mean, that's pretty obscure. Battling dark magic, but a ragtag group of adventurers.
So I'm thinking Dungeons and Dragons or something. Oh, yeah. Dungeons and Dragons Dogma is a video game. Dragon's Lair is a video game. Dragons. I should. God, I've seen this
did Sean Connery's dragon have to give up? To all people as well, David Thewlis. David Thewlis played the young king.
Gold is dragon?
No, he had to give something personal up.
Dragon's teeth?
No, you're on the right track. It's not his teeth, though. He had to give something personal. His...
I don't know. Dungeons
and Dragon Heart.
Oh, Dragon fucking Heart. Jesus Christ, I should have got that.
Yeah.
Man, I have not thought of that movie, as you can tell by the fact that I can get the title. I thought Dungeons and Dragons was going to be a little bit too broad, rather than... But I'm fully aware, obviously, that there is a truly terrible movie. Although the recent Dungeons and Dragons movie was a bit better. I don't think it did very well at the box office.
It didn't do well. Yeah, the Chris Pine one. I like that.
I found it quite enjoyable. It was the kind of film, when you watch it, you're just like, if this does well enough, I bet you there could be a really good sequel.
Yeah.
And it just never happened, sadly. But Dungeons and Dragons Heart.
Or Dragon Heart, yeah. Dungeons and Dragon Heart, yeah.
Okay.
Right, and the last one, this has gone on forever.
It's large because I'm toiling, yeah. My apologies.
A rogue general takes over Alcatraz, followed by a stylish London crime caper full of gangsters, schemes, and swagger.
The Rock.
Yeah.
What's the second part, sorry?
A stylish London crime caper full of gangsters, schemes, and swagger.
Rock. Oh, the Rock and Roller.
Yep, The Rock and Roller.
Again, a movie which doesn't come up very often
I
anymore.
love Rock and Roll. It's one of my favorite Guy Ritchie ones.
I remember that film got fucking slaughtered when it came out because everyone was looking forward to it because he was coming off hot after Lock, Stock, and Snatch. And that film came out and it's weird. It's weird Rock and Roller. And a lot of people really hated it. And I remember because it got such a bad reception, I didn't watch it in maybe a year or something. And then I liked it.
Yeah,
it's
I like
weird.
it. I don't like it. I love it. I think it's a great one.
I mean, I wouldn't go as far as say I love it, but then I've only seen it once. But I remember being like pleasantly surprised because I was just like, man, that film got slaughtered by critics, but it definitely didn't deserve the hype it got.
Yeah.
I'm not making that up. That did get a bit of a critical mauling, didn't it, Rock and Roll?
Yeah, well, it did, because at the end, didn't it? They said Archie and the gang will be back for the real Rock and Roller, and it never materialized.
Yeah, it's a weird film. It's unique. I think maybe it's a touch ahead of its time, and maybe people were just expecting something different, maybe something closer to the likes of Snatch and Lock, Stock. But yeah, I remember really liking that film. So a little bit niche, but we got there. So what have I got there? Like 1.5, maybe 2 out of 3 if I was doing a stretch. I've definitely got one for the last one.
You definitely got the last one.
I'm giving myself at least a half for the second one because
I'm giving you Dragonheart. I'm giving you Dungeons Dragons. Dungeons Dragons. You got.
What was the first one again?
McHale's Navy SEALs. You didn't get any of that shit.
No, I didn't get. No. I'll give myself 1.5. 1.5. Yeah. And the first one, I'm going to give myself 3 pass because I was never getting McHale's fucking Navy. Anyway, finally get on to my choice. The year is 1984.
Okay. It's not the film 1984, is it?
It is not the film 1984. Okay. The director, I'm not sure if this is going to help, is Nick Castle. He most famously, to my eyes at least, directed Major Payne with Damon Wayans in 1995, which I have a real soft spot for that film. And it's one of those films where clips of it keep coming up online, and I'm like, I think the clips are going to be enough. I don't think I need to rewatch the film. But he was a writer on Escape from New York.
I know who it is. I know who Nick Castle is.
And he played the Shape in both the original Halloween and the recent trilogy. I had no idea he played the Shape.
Nick Castle, is it Nick Castle? Is he the writer of this film? The writer of this film won't let the rights go and let people create this film anymore. People want to...
think you are on the right page.
People want to create it, want to remake it, but he's like, no, mine is perfect.
This is so perfect for a remake, so it makes total sense.
Yeah, is it... by any chance, set mostly in a trailer park, but then randomly goes into space?
I think you've hit the nail on the head there. And yes, it is absolutely, like, there's no way The Last Starfighter wouldn't have been remade by now. It ticks all the, like, don't be wrong, The Last Starfighter is a film that I have fond memories of, but I've not seen for donkey's years. And I think I've genuinely only seen it once, which seems bizarre because it feels like a movie that's right up my alley. But I've not seen it for donkey's years. I think it's either available on Netflix or Sky Movies. But yeah, it feels like one of those, when they're looking back, what could we remake from the 80s? A perfect example because it's a great premise. And the film, what I remember is it's good, but it's not perfect. But like I said, I'm saying that with very little memory of the film.
Yeah, directed by Nick Castle, but written by Jonathan R. Butel. Yeah, and he's the guy that won't give it up. And
it stars, is it Lance Guest? Is that the
Lance Guest? Yeah.
Famously from Jaws the Revenge and Halloween 2, so a bit of crossover there. But do you have much of a connection to The Last Starfighter?
I'm a big fan of Last Starfighter. I watched it 2 or 3 times when I was a kid. Watched it again as an adult. I have a T-shirt of The Last Starfighter randomly. Cool. Yeah, so.
Well, like I say, it's a great premise, and it's just a movie I haven't seen for ages, and I was looking for an excuse basically to rewatch it, and I was just like, do it for the podcast instead, because I assumed you would have seen it, and if you hadn't, it'd be a great
I've had it recorded for about 3 years, and I've just never got around to picking it in the list. So
well, now's your excuse. Now is your excuse. Cool. Anything else to add before we wrap this up?
I'll just one thing to add. We had an email. This is a random email, but I had to bring it up. We had an email from a listener called Matt Lees, who starts off with, "Greetings, gents. I've been listening to the pod for some time now and enjoy it. Keep up the good work." Thank you for that, Matt. But then he goes, "I now have an odd question. Liam, were you recently at a Wetherspoons in Cwmbran, South Wales? I'm sure I heard you there at a table close to us during breakfast. I could be wrong." He says, if so, feel free to ignore this odd email. And he says, either way, keep up the great podding. Now, what's odd about this is you wouldn't have been there unless you, I don't know, travelled from Edinburgh one day to go to Cumbrae.
Yeah, I have not been to Cumbrae for many a year, so it wasn't me. But
the odd thing is, I go to that Wetherspoons at least like every other month to.
And we did question him on this, but he said no, specifically.
Yeah,
Liam.
I mean, you can tell the voice, and he did come back and say, "I know it was you. I'll pick your voice out because if I did the my sections, the trivia or something like that." But no, so I thought maybe you got the voices confused. It's just random as hell.
It is incredibly random. I did have a chat with him briefly via email or whatever the hell it was, and I did mention, like up in Scotland, I've had it a few times where people say I sound a bit like Sam Warburton. I don't sound like Sam Warburton. Sam Warburton's a ex-Welsh rugby player. I think it's simply because he has a similar Cardiff accent to me. Like, he sounds Welsh, he sounds Cardiff, but he doesn't have too strong a Cardiff accent and doesn't have too strong a Welsh accent. And I'm in that kind of same.
To be fair, we had a carpet fitter here once when Kat was pregnant, when my wife was pregnant with our son, and the carpet fitter took one look at me and went, "Are you Sam Warburton's brother?" And I said, "Are you fucking blind?"
Maybe it's just something in the water. Who knows? Yeah. But needs to say, he suggests I had quite a unique voice, so whatever is the case. But it is absolutely bizarre. Have we look at it? The fact that he thought it was me, but you were there. And you're not from Cumbrae, but you go to this Wetherspoons in Cumbrae. That is absolutely
I have family in Cumbrae, so we go and meet the family, and they're around the corner from this Wetherspoons. So
yes. Yeah, bit of a bizarre one. Very much for us rather than the listeners, but it is what it is. It's our podcast. Go fuck yourself. I've been Liam, he's been Rob, and you have been, and maybe you'll listen again, who knows? I probably shouldn't tell you to fuck off. You've been listening to Hey Guys Podcast. Cheers, guys.
I'm on the boat with you. Go fuck yourself. Cheers, guys. Bye now.
Oh, and before I forget, where can folk reach us if they were so inclined to?
Well, you can actually reach us on Hey You Guys 80s at Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. But if you want to send us a mail, do heyyouguys80s@gmail.com. Send us in your recommendations. Send us in your thoughts about any of the episodes. Just literally talk to us. We'll have a one-sided talk with you on the podcast.
Yeah. We're nice folk. Get in touch. But no, cheers, guys. Bye-bye.
Cheers, guys. Bye now.
Hey, you guys!